Commissioner Mahar, thanks for being here. You mentioned that you're not in the business of putting businesses out of business. I'm glad to hear that. But this clean truck standard is absolutely going to do that. It's doing it now. We're already restricting the ability for dealers to get trucks here, and that's going to have a negative impact on a lot of businesses, including also sales tax revenue for New York State. So you talked about looking at potentially, changing these standards, but it's being impacted right now. And in fact, these things aren't going to take, the standards aren't going to take a single diesel or gas truck off the roads in New York State. Because I've talked to the industry, they're simply going to be sending trucks in from other states, like where I live on the border of Pennsylvania, and you're not going to have any, you're going to have zero impact, quite frankly, on emissions, and we're also going to lose business. So why are we not suspending this right now? There's been $0 invested so far in commercial truck charging stations, and that's the problem. There's no infrastructure. Even companies that want it, I mean, unless you're going to be a food truck sitting all day, electric food truck, I don't see how it's going to work. It's not commercially viable. Why have we not suspended this right now?
Well, again, with the $1 billion that the governor is proposing in this budget, that's going to go a long way to helping with our implementation of many different
Yeah, but this is happening right now. That $1 billion, by the time they put out the RFPs and they put the infrastructure, it's going to be 2030 before that $1 billion is actually deployed.
Well, we need to start now, obviously, because this infrastructure
So why are we not
is
suspending
necessary.
these? Why are we not suspending these clean truck standards right now? Forget about California and everybody else. New York needs to suspend this right now because we are having a negative impact right now on businesses. And I realize this is you're following orders, so to speak, but it is DEC's purvey, and certainly I would think, advise the governor and everyone else that thinks this is a good idea as to why we're not doing this right now.
Well, I think, again, when you look across, especially our community air monitoring program that we did, when you look at the impact on communities of transportation emissions, we know these are a leading source of climate emissions, but also some of the leading health impacts for local communities.
So emissions that are in
states of
Pennsylvania,
asthma.
10 miles down the road from my district, are somehow different than emissions in New York State, because that's where they're going to be coming from. They're going to move their operations to Pennsylvania. I can throw a stone and hit Pennsylvania from my district. I'm just trying to understand the practical application of all this right now.
I will say Pennsylvania is a Section 177 state of the Clean Air Act as well, so they are in this program with us, and that's why we're continuing to work together with all the Section 177 states on this, because we know we need to.
How many states are in that, if you don't mind me asking? How many states are in this conglomerate?
In the Section 177,
Yes.
I believe it's 12, but I'll get back to you on that specific number.
All right. Well, I would strongly encourage it. Also, really quickly, wetland regulations. It's creating a lot of chaos. It's already impacting real estate. How do we consider a navigable waterway like Chautauqua Lake or Lake George a swamp, slog, or bog, which is really what wetland regulations are supposed to be for?
Well, again, that's based on biological conditions and factors on the ground and the way that wetlands were defined in the legislation. The general permits that we're advancing will help address Chautauqua Lake, and I'll pivot back and circle up with you on that and walk you through.
Thank you. I appreciate that.